Our green gardener, Karen Johannson, is here to take your plant and garden questions at 270-9933.
And it's a good night to call in if you have a question because we have 3 lines open for Karen right now. Hello, good to see you.
It's great to see you.
Let's get right to the calls.
Yes.
We will
All right.
start with Nancy in Westfield. Hi, Nancy.
Hi there. Yes, I have a lilac bush I planted approximately 5-6 years ago. The plant is doing wonderful itself, but there's not been any flowers on it over this 5-6 year period.
Okay, is it in full sun? Do you get at least a half a good day of direct?
Yes. It's
Okay.
yes.
And have you pruned it at all?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, boy, a lot of times people make the mistake of pruning them too late in the season because they set their flower buds in the fall. So if you haven't pruned it and it's in full sun, I don't know. It certainly wouldn't hurt to fertilize it. Taking a soil sample would give you the most information. You can take a small sample, you send it to the University of Wisconsin Soil Lab, it's about $15, but you know, when in doubt, just put an all-purpose, like a 10-10-10 on it, cross your fingers, but that's an odd one, I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully it'll surprise you.
Yes.
Michelle in Mount Horeb. Hi there, what's your question?
Hi, I was wondering when is the best time to split perennials like hostas, lilies? Is it best to do it in the fall or is it best to do it in the spring?
Well, kind of either or. That's a really good question. Now, as far as planting perennials from a nursery where they're in the pots, you literally can do it all season long as you keep them watered. Hosta, I prefer to do them in the spring when they're just peeking out of the garden and you can just see them go in and move them, although I moved some hostas 2 weeks ago and with all of our cool weather, they did just fine. Lilies, I would probably wait till after they're done blooming, which is about now. You know, you can cut the flower buds off when they're finished blooming, gently dig up the bulbs and move them. And anything that you decide to move, keep really well watered. But for the most part, spring or fall, because typically in the summer we have all of our hot weather. And make sure you give them extra water.
All right, let's go to Betty in Beloit. Hi, Betty.
Hi.
Hi, what's your question?
Yes, I would like to know if this is a good time to transplant peony bushes.
Well, I wouldn't. I mean, if you had to, and if you had no choice, like you're doing a remodel or something and you need to move them, go ahead, cross your fingers, they'll probably be fine. But otherwise, I would wait till the fall, right about the 1st of October. You can kind of cut them back, gently dig them up and move them. And the one thing to remember with peonies, you don't want to plant them too deep. There's like little eye buds and they only want to be about 1 inch below the surface. If you plant your peonies too deep, they don't bloom well. And the second best time would be in the spring when they're just coming out of the garden, but of course you sacrifice your blooming then.
All right, so mark your calendar for October.
Okay.
All right, Linda in Madison. Hi, Linda, what's your question? Hi, you there?
Yeah, yeah, I want to know, is it too late to plant impatiens?
Oh, absolutely not. As long as you can find them, it would be too late to start them from seed because they're kind of pokey, but you can plant annuals all summer long. And in fact, we typically don't have frost in Wisconsin until about the middle of October. Yeah. So you've got a lot of good growing, blooming time to enjoy, and a lot of gardeners are actually going into their gardens now and replanting things that didn't come out quite right. So absolutely, and the area garden centers are constantly now receiving new plant material. So yeah, absolutely go for it.
Got a good 3 months plus.
Oh, absolutely,
time.
yeah, and they're going to bloom all the way till frost, and if you watch the weather and cover a little bit, you might even squeak them till, you know, the end of October.
We're going to take a quick break and then we'll get to more calls with Karen. Stay tuned. A memorial tree was planted in Griffith Park in Los Angeles for former Beatle George Harrison.
Well, this is all that's left of it. It had to be cut down after an infestation of, get this, real beetles, bark beetles. The original Japanese black pine tree was planted in 2003, 2 years after the performer, known as the Quiet Beetle, died of cancer. City officials hope to plant a new tree in November.
That's ironic.
It is ironic.
All right, we're here with Karen Johannson taking your plant and garden questions, and we'll go to Chris now in Dodgeville. Hi, Chris.
Hi. I have a question about my cone flowers. They don't seem to be getting hardly any petals. They're just forming a big globe. And the petals aren't really coming out.
Is this one that you've had previously? Are you sure that it's...
We've had it about 5 years.
And this is the first year that it's doing it?
Yes.
Well, look in the flower head and check for like thrips, which are really tiny, tiny little insects. They're almost thread-like. You got to kind of shake them over a piece of white paper. You might have a rabbit chewing on it or some other type of bug. So I'm going to guess some type of infestation.
Oh, boy. Okay. Tom in Mauston. Hi there, what's your question?
Hi, good afternoon. I am experimenting with vermicomposting, and I brewed some tea, and it works wonderful on my plants. And my question is, when's the best time to spray that on my lawn? I want to experiment with my lawn.
Well, lawns are really hungry, and you can pretty much put it on any time. I guess the only time I would caution is to avoid if it's very dry, and avoid if the temperatures are over 85, because you don't want to burn anything from too much nitrogen. But yeah, lawns, literally, you can fertilize those 3-4 times a year.
Let's see. Brewing tea and putting it on the lawn?
Well, he's not drinking the tea, Mark. You know, you take like compost, and you kind of mix it with water, and they call it compost tea. And I don't know what he's composting
That'd be a better
with.
story, though.
But yeah, it's, you know, he's adding good organic matter, and depending on what he's composting, you know, it might be adding nutrients as well.
We have about 20 seconds. Jeff, what's your question?
Yes, I have a pin oak tree that the leaves are yellowish instead of a dark green.
Yeah. Oak have a really high iron requirement, so you might want to add an iron supplement, also add nitrogen. You might need to lower the pH a little bit, which will make those two things more available. So do a soil test, maybe add some chelated iron and add some nitrogen, and that hopefully will green it up a little bit.
Maybe some tea.
Yeah, and some tea.
Karen, thanks so much. We're out of time. We'll see you next time.
Oh, it was great.
We'll see you soon.
Happy gardening.
Happy gardening. We'll be right back.